Okay, we are going to be talking about two of my favorite Tesla accessories for the hot weather. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Desmond. I make content about tech and travel gear. And as we get into the summer months, there are a couple of Tesla accessories that I've actually found are worth the money. And these are both from a company called Hannshow. If you know the Tesla accessory space, they're a pretty big brand. They sell some pretty good, high quality products. These two are probably my favorite. The first is the electric retractable Sunshade, which is pretty key, I think, for any Tesla Model Y owner. And the other is a sub-frunk fridge. So, bit of a luxury, but I enjoy it thoroughly. And before we get into the video, honestly, I have not been doing many Tesla accessory videos on this channel. And it's for a couple of reasons. I turn down a lot of these collaboration opportunities because, honestly, a lot of the stuff that these brands put out is pretty cheap, plasticky stuff. It's just little plastic cup holders and peripherals, and everything is clips and crappy electronics. So it's really hard to review, test, and then recommend a product that I personally wouldn't use or doesn't hold up to my own quality standards. So I actually turn down a ton of Tesla accessories, and I just don't want to be one of those channels that's constantly peddling the latest plastic gimmicky crap out there. So with that said, these two are actually products that I use and I think are a great quality addition to your Tesla Model Y. The first one is going to be this electric sunshade. I really like this. I've always had a sunshade in my Tesla Model Y. Yes, these are beautiful panoramic sunroofs, but in the summer months, all it does is let in a ton of heat. So having a sunshade is pretty critical. I've always used the kind of flexible wire framed ones that you can just easily install. But the challenge is there are nights and times where I want to be able to utilize that panoramic sunroof. Maybe it's raining, maybe we're going through a car wash, or maybe I just want to enjoy the sights above. So having those kind of wire framed sunshades in there is a bit of a pain because you have to uninstall them and then reinstall them. Even though it takes a few seconds, where are you going to put that when you take it down and you're driving? And it's the electric piece that I really like. I know Hannshow and other brands have been releasing different versions of retractable sunshades, but some of them are manual, some of them use that ugly accordion folding system, and it's just not something I want to put in my car. And back to my original point, some of it is kind of just cheapy and crappy, in my opinion. So this new accessory is actually really well made. And the best thing about it is the install only took me about 15 minutes or so. So you get a pretty large box. The accessory itself, this electric sunshade, is basically fully built and ready for install. Comes in this large box, and as you can see here, everything is in place. All you need to do is get it into the headboard. And again, that's super simple. Packaging here is relatively easy. We've got a couple of L mounts which slide right into the gap between your headboard. You've got a couple of screws which are really easy. And then powering and wiring this thing is probably one of the quickest setups I've had to do. But before we install the sunshade, let's just get to the power and the wiring. I think that's probably the thing that gives most people anxiety. But if you go into your trunk over in the left side corner, that's where you'll have your 12 volt. Use the little pry bar and you get to the back, and there is a single connector that connects power to that 12 volt outlet. And all you do is tap into that. So you remove the little gray clip, you clip in, and then you run that wire along the kind of rubber closure on the side of the trunk, and then leave it there until you're ready to install the sunshade. And again, installation is super easy. This is not a DIY Tesla channel by any means, but this install was so easy. I just want to show you guys how quickly it took. Once I drop all the seats in the Tesla down, I have the 7-seater. I slide the sunshade fully assembled into the vehicle, And you already have a couple of clips that are attached to the mount. So make sure the motor, as you can see here, is towards the back of the car. All you're gonna do is place that up into the back against the rear headboard, and those metal clips will slide right into the gap, holding it in place. And then we're gonna head over to the front. We're gonna push everything up, get it into position, and then you've got these two L brackets that are separate. You're just gonna slide them into the headboard, and you're gonna screw the sunshade mounting bracket into that, and you're basically done. That holds it all into place. I've done some drives around, no rattling, no shaking. I'm not worried it's gonna fall down. It's a very non-destructive install. If you hate it, you can pull it out. And that's the best thing about it. It doesn't require any glue or tape. You're not adhering this to the vehicle in any way. It fits perfectly into those tiny gaps in the headboard around your Tesla. And once you have that installed, I'm just gonna go ahead and plug in the cable that connects the motor of the sunshade to that cable I ran through that 12-volt connector, and you're good to go. Best thing about it is you have controls in the front and the back of the car. So with a quick click, you can go ahead and retract the sunshade. You can stop it halfway, a third of the way, any way you want. And then even from the back, you can open and close it and have that same type of control. The other thing that I will say is it's not a very loud motor. And I think that's the nice thing about it when you're driving and you're retracting it. It's about the same decibel level as a standard built-in integrated sunshade that would come on a standard vehicle. So nothing crazy there. I think it works perfectly. And the best thing is it's fully color matched to the interior of the Tesla and looks OEM, in my opinion. Yes, the frame of the electric sunshade will take up some space. Honestly, I don't look up or explore the ceiling or roof of my Tesla often enough to notice what space it's eaten up. What I do notice is the convenience of having this sunshade be retractable when and if I need it. So overall, of all the different sunshades I've seen and tested, this is probably a pretty good buy. I think the quality is there. It comes fully assembled, non-destructive install, very, very easy. And for summer months, if any of you have a Tesla, you know how hot it gets. Having this retractable sunshade is actually a 10 out of 10 for me. And then let's get to the second product that they sent over, and this is the sub-trunk fridge. So as you can see here, it's pretty large. It is designed to fit into the sub-trunk of your Tesla Model Y. It fits for both the 5-seater and my 7-seater, even with all the seats up. So again, something that I really like. Very simple concept. I think it's a high quality fridge. It has good capacity, about 35 liters, and the cooling capabilities are great. You can cool this down to like -4 degrees Fahrenheit, which means you can freeze ice cream, popsicles, ice, whatever you want to keep frozen. And then of course you can keep things cool. I use this a lot because the capacity is actually functional. A lot of the times I've tested gimmicky fridges from Hannshow also that are just too small. And because they're so small, they don't cool properly. They don't hold a lot of capacity. And they're really just gimmicks. They're not worth buying. They're not worth the money. This particular product I actually think is worth the price tag, especially if you're someone who likes to tailgate or camp or do anything where you want to keep large amounts or even a usable amount of food, drinks, ice cream, frozen goods cold during these summer months, or any month in all honesty. It also plugs into that 12-volt adapter in the corner of your Tesla Model Y trunk, and then you've got a nice LCD screen here where you can adjust the mode, the RPMs, and the temperature. It's also Bluetooth enabled, so you can control it all from an app. But all in all, it's a fridge, works great, fits in the sub-trunk, does not utilize too much of the additional space in your car that you would normally use for road trips, like your trunk itself. Again, one of those products that I actually think is less gimmick and more functional, just like the sunshade. These two, of all the kind of stuff that companies are putting out for Teslas, I actually think these are worth the money, and they're good usable, high quality products. So I will leave links in the description below. Feel free to check it out. I use the fridge all the time. I use that retractable sunshade all the time. So at least if you're watching this, just know that these are products I actually use. Most of the stuff that people send me, if I don't use it, I probably won't make a video about it because it's not worth the time and it's not worth recommending to you. So if you're interested, check out the links in the description below. Hit that like button, subscribe for more videos just like this, and I will catch y'all in the next one.